You clicked on this video thinking, what in the blue hell? We're supposed to be talking about Colin Kaepernick. In due time, in good time, okay? You know, we just gotta build up to this for a second. And what is this on the screen here? It's just got a couple of words and some kind of a flatlined graph. Well, a lot of people in this space, the commentariat space, whatever the hell you want to call it in the grand scheme of things, a bunch of YouTubers that are out there, they would run an entire video saying, help, my channel is under attack. And I'll give you some context here. I could show you if you really want, but I just think the screenshots do it a little bit more of a service. That right there is the performance of my Keira Knightley, Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean film. Take a look at that. Does that look organic to you at all whatsoever? Look at that. It is going straight up, and then YouTube, within about a couple of hours, give in on and around, what, 12, 14 hours, it just decides to flatline it. Just kills it off completely. Now, if that was just one video, I wouldn't really have much of a leg to stand on. I showed you, guys, if you've been watching this for a little while, I showed you my highest performing video that's ever happened on the channel. It was the recap video from the Johnny Depp trial. 24,000 views in the first couple of hours and then completely flatlined. But that's been a minute, okay? It's just selective outrage, right? It's selective reasoning that they use to employ over at YouTube. Oh, somebody's getting a little bit too much traction that we don't necessarily like. So, okay, we'll just get rid of that video, but the rest of them can do fine. And this video, hey man, like the response to it was tremendous. Okay, it's got like 1,000 views and overwhelmingly positive. I think one or two downvotes, maybe potentially. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. It was going up. Like you can see, everybody was liking it, everybody was seeing it, and then it just flatlines. Like, what the hell is actually going on? And like I said, there wouldn't be any ground to stand on if it was just one video. It's like, okay, a topic that only lasted for just a little bit, but then I think about it and it's like, okay, I released that quite late in the day. It was on a Saturday, and all of the other metrics you're pointing to, this should have been a runaway success. What the hell is actually going on here? And then the next day, right after that, this one right here, this is yesterday's SVB video, okay, the Silicon Valley Bank, the one with all of the goofy thumbnails, which, you know what, hey, I'm just going to employ, we're just going to roll with it at this point in time because people like them, people think that it looks good. And then I noticed this, right at about that 14-hour mark, it starts to flatline. Like, what's going on? That one was released at a reasonable time because I did all that, yeah, in on and around the same time that I released videos. And yeah, no, it was all going great. Everything was going up, 25,000 impressions. The video itself, I think the views, they're all stagnant at about 2,600 views. Overwhelmingly supported video, a whole bunch of engagement, a whole bunch of comments. All of the normal metrics that you can look at for success are there. But then at about that 14-hour mark, it just dies a horrifying death. And then just before I decided to record this video right here, I just wanted to see, okay, maybe it was just a little lull or something. Nope, flatlined. Man, it's like, what is a guy supposed to do? So I take a look at this stuff, and it's happening day after day after day. Well, what the hell am I going to do? Well, if you're a return viewer to this channel, you're going to notice a couple of new changes around here. I kind of like this. It looks pretty nice now, doesn't it? You know, the new setup, and oh, there's a brand new logo on the channel. Man, it's one of those things, okay? Just a little bit of stuff. We'll get to the Colin Kaepernick stuff. Just hold your horses and indulge me for a moment, or just press forward a little bit, okay? The control's in your hands. This stuff took a really long time to make. The new logo, which, like I was getting into for a second, when I'm editing my videos, I legitimately, this is between you and me, I hate the sound of my own voice. I don't like it, man. Maybe it's just one of those things. Like, a lot of people think that, you know, the sound of their own voice is just a little bit flumpy. Personally, I despise it. I'm glad other people like it. And, you know, I'm not in control of what you like. All I can do is just put the content out there and you guys watch it. And I'm incredibly appreciative. And I never, ever, ever have any preconceptions about, oh, is this one going to do good? I have an opinion on certain topics that I think are interesting, and I hope they perform well. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And sometimes they get kneecapped by the algorithm. But what is a guy supposed to do about that? He's supposed to innovate because guess what? We all get dealt a certain hand, and you know what? Any hand can win. Just to use a poker analogy for a second, Doyle Brunson won 2 World Series of Poker championships with a 10-deuce offsuit. He won with a statistically shit hand. 2 major championships. So yeah, if YouTube's going to be the big floomp about this at about that 14-hour mark, just kill off my videos, well, guess what, man? Hey, now that I know the confines of this stuff, and now that I know that there's certain boundaries being placed on me, well, guess what? Your boy's got to innovate, your boy's got to get better, and your boy's got to take advantage of what's going on. That's how I approach things. Always, whenever something troubling happens, what do? Well, I take it upon myself to change. I'm not going to be changing YouTube. All I can do is change my response to it. Something that Colin Kaepernick doesn't do. Holy, do we got a brain-dead response to this stuff. Listen, he's hawking a graphic novel. A whole host of more talented individuals are currently doing the exact same thing. They're not blaming their parents, though. Their adoptive parents. Yo, check this out. Colin Kaepernick calls out adoptive parents racism. Are you fucking what? Your adoptive parents, the people that picked you out, that took you out of the foster care system, raised you in an affluent neighborhood, allowed you and gave you the leg up to become an NFL football player, a quarterback that played in the Super Bowl. That was moments away, if not for a Herculean effort from... Funny enough, because I've got the championship year helmet from the Baltimore Ravens, the team that he lost to, of the defense on that final play where there may or may not have been a flag. He was moments away from winning a Super Bowl, but what did he end up doing? Well, we'll get into it in a second, because do I think that these ideas are all his own? Listen, I seen him get drafted at the end of the 2nd round. I seen him give one of his first interviews as a drafted member of the San Francisco 49ers. You know what? I'll tell you this. I was a Colin Kaepernick fan all the way up until 2016. I thought he had a hell of a good arm on him. He was really revolutionizing the game. He was a bigger version of Lamar Jackson. Far more durable, a far faster runner, probably has a better, more accurate arm. He just started to stumble. It's the half-life on these run-first, check-down quarterbacks. It's not very long. And he ended up getting benched, ended up hooking up with an activist, and, well, now he's prepping for a comeback by throwing the only people left in his life that were supportive of him wholeheartedly under the bus for views. Like, this dude, there is nothing, okay? I can tell you this, okay? There is nothing that my parents can do that will make me stop loving them, that would make me say anything bad on their name. I might question a couple of things that they do, but you will never catch me saying a sideways thing about my parents. I have nothing but respect, nothing but love for both of them. They're a great example, and I've learned so much from them throughout all of my years. It is amazing. It is amazing. The hubris, the arrogance, and just the outright disrespect he has. Wow. Colin Kaepernick calls out adoptive parents' racism as he promotes a new graphic novel. Is this going to flop ultimately like his Netflix special? Remember, the only reason that generated any sort of hype, I don't know if anybody watched it afterwards, but he compared the NFL's draft combine to slavery. And then there were other episodes that nobody paid attention to because, again, he was a good quarterback for a small period of time. And guess what? Ain't nobody signing up and waiting for the Andrew Luck Netflix special. If it wasn't for him taking a knee because he got benched, nobody would care, bro. Former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick accused his white adoptive parents of perpetuating racism in their household. What? Okay. What? I know my parents loved me. Yo, that just the ultimate disrespect right there. But they were still very problematic things that I went through. Problematic things that you went to. Just a perpetual victim. Are you having a laugh? I think it's important to show that no, this can happen in your home. And you can move forward collectively while addressing the racism that is being perpetuated. Care to elaborate? Or do you just want to say, systemic racism? Fucking idiot. Kaepernick revealed that he has Oh, that when he had cornrows as a child, his mother said, "Your hair is not professional. You look like a little thug." Okay. What is he, 35? So when he was a kid, like, what was hot? Was he trying to emulate Little Bow Wow? Yeah, exactly. Depending on what you're trying to do. Your mother might have a point. Okay, I had a... Yo, if you guys checked out my secondary channel, one of the first pictures that I put up there, I might be able to find it since I had... Okay, here, you know what? I'll go ahead and make a corollary, because he didn't have a time frame on this. Let's just say, for all shits and giggles, he was 16 at the time. So that would have put him, because he's, what, 2 years older than I am, so 88. So that would have been 2004. Yeah, that seems about the right time, you know, where... little kids are experimenting with goofy hairstyles, and yeah, I would have been in on and around that age, so around 2004. Yeah, from about 2004, because what, that would have been grade 7 for me? No, 2002. Yeah, 2002 would be grade 7. So yeah, because I had a mullet until I was in grade 7, and then after that I just started to grow out the rest of my hair. I'm gonna see if I can find, because I gotta still have this picture on here. Yeah, there you go. There's a 16-year-old me, just about 400 pounds. That is a triple XL t-shirt. Triple XL. This one's medium. So, you know what? Your boy's come quite a far ways in 17 years. Holy shit. That one, Canada Day long weekend 2006. That was when the fro was at its fullest and most luxurious, and I was just about at my fattest. Bitch tits popping out of a triple XL t-shirt. Yo, man. This is why, you know what, hey, this is why I have absolutely zero chill for people that just want to continue to push the victim narrative that body positivity, we just need to have fat acceptance. Nah, man, you are in control of every morsel of food that goes inside of your mouth. That fat fuck that you see on the screen right there, he loved himself some Slurpees. Oh, he loved chocolate bars by the boatload. That little fuck is dead, gone, and buried. And we don't play by the victim mindset here anymore, man. We ain't Colin Kaepernick just rewriting history saying that my parents were racist because my hairstyle looks stupid. No, it was unprofessional when you were a kid, and now you just give off the aura of a child molester. Like, who the fuck rocks nobody reps cornrows anymore. Dude, it's just totally fucking out of style. What, Riri Williams? Do you even know who that is? Yeah, exactly. That's the only person with cornrows left on, you know, her head and on her Iron Man suit. Makes me sick to my stomach. The former San Francisco 49ers quarterback, yo, he's been an activist longer than he was an actual quarterback, because when he decided to pull that stunt, he was in his 6th season in 2016. 2016. Any day now, he's going to be making a comeback at 35 years old. Just very easy to do that. Those become spaces, you know, where it's like, how do I navigate the situation now? But it is all... but it also has informed why I have my hair long today. Okay, you have your hair long today because your mom said that you had racist short hair, so that'll show her. Rick and Teresa Kaepernick are a couple from Wisconsin, are his parents from Wisconsin. Regardless, if he was born to somebody else, those are the people that raised you, and you're putting such dirt on their name. This is such a high level of disrespect. Me trying to keep it together right now is, it's an endeavor, because whenever I see people shit talk or disrespect their parents, especially good parents that provided for them, that gave them the opportunity to head down to, say UNLV, go ahead and overperform and then get a scholarship. Yeah, ultimately get that scholarship and then go on to the NFL. Wow. CNN attempted to reach out to them for comment, but did not immediately receive a response. Yep, of course. In Colin in Black and White, a Netflix series revisiting Kaepernick's childhood from 2021, there's a scene depicting the moment the former NFL player's mother calls him a thug because they disapprove of his hair. His mother is a they? That don't make no sense. The book titled Colin Kaepernick Changed the Game by sitting on the sidelines and not being signed to a team in over half a decade. The graphic novel memoir detailing the high school years before he entered the spotlight of professional sports. Wow, being a big, tall, strong quarterback in Wisconsin, he definitely didn't get all the bitches, definitely has a sob story to tell about high school. According to Scholastic Publishing Group's press release, it was co-written by Eve Ewing. Yeah, and there's the CalArts horseshit what passes for art in today's day and age on the front. That just looks fucking shit. But as you can see in the background, everybody's cheering him on. So yeah, please try to go ahead and spin controversy any way that you can. But who are his parents? CNN did a shitty job at elaborating who they are. So let's just see. Did they have a history of violence or a history of racism? Did they drive past the dairy farms that are just abundant in Wisconsin and boo only half of the cows that are out in the field? What are we doing? Former NFL quarterback, famously played 6 seasons. Well, he played 5 and then rode the bench for the last one. Raised by Teresa and Rick Kaepernick, the couple who adopted Colin just weeks after he was born, December 1987. Colin was born to Heidi Russo when she was 19 years old. Well, okay. Born to a single mother. Shocked? In recent years, she has opened up about her past in interviews, blah, blah, blah. Colin, who is biracial and identifies as black, doesn't have very many black features, but hey man, he just kind of looks like he's got a heavy tan, but he's definitely for the cause. Opened up about the unique challenges of growing up in a white adoptive family. Most recent, Colin, who welcomed his first child with girlfriend Nessa Diab in August of 2022, said in an interview with CBS News that his white parents struggled to embrace their son's racial differences. Yeah, by making up some absolute ludicrous story that had realistically very little to do with race, but it's funny, man. It's funny. All the way up until 2015, he was just a hell of a good quarterback. And then all of a sudden he started to falter. And then it all starts to make sense because take a look. Who's his girlfriend who he's starting a little activist family with? That one right there. Nessa Diab. Who's exactly Nessa Diab? Funny you should ask. Colin Kaepernick's Muslim girlfriend. Okay. The fact that they're living like this is just super haram. So, all right. Nessa Diab was behind the decision not to stand up during the national anthem. Oh, this is all the way back in 2016 at the time. Yep, August 29th, 2016, just a couple of days after his first kneeling attempt. Interesting. The report from sports gossip blog Therese Owens states the entire world knows by now San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick refused to stand for the national anthem in Friday's preseason game against Green Bay because he was protesting black oppression in the United States. We're now hearing that it was actually his girlfriend, Nessa's idea for Colin to protest. What a fucking simp. Colin and his girlfriend, Nessa Diab, an MTV DJ, are still planning an Islamic-style wedding. And here we are 6 years later, and I don't know if Colin's converted. He would definitely have better bitch control if he did, so chances are he hasn't, because who exactly is Nessa Diab? Funny you should ask. During a 2019 interview with Paper Magazine, Kaepernick and his longtime girlfriend, Nessa Diab, and they started hooking up in 2015. When did Colin Kaepernick's performance start to just fall directly off a cliff? Oh, right around 2015, and then he got benched ahead of the 2016 season. Big shock on that one. And if he's worried about all of this black oppression, why is he hooking up with an Arab chick? They don't make a lot of sense. Well, she's Egyptian, that is Africa after all. So, I don't have any concerns about that. She's got nice tits, but outside of that, she's a wholly ideological individual. Inspired by, longtime girlfriend Diab, inspired by Black Panther's 10-point platform. Oh, great, she takes all of her talking points from terrorists. And urged to action after the shooting death of Mario Woods at the hands of San Francisco Police Department. I'm sure he deserved it. Came up with a plan that would eventually become the Know Your Rights Camp, a traveling youth empowerment initiative. Yeah, they sell a bunch of t-shirts. How fantastic. She's called out Jay-Z for, not wading into this nonsense. I think we've moved past kneeling. It's time for action, Jay-Z said in the controversial partnership. Yikes. As you might have guessed, many NFL players had a problem with Jay-Z's decisions and comments, which is fantastic because Jay-Z's fucking billionaire and she is hooking up with somebody who's fucking broke. But to be fair, he didn't stay broke very long. He is just unemployed though. Anywho. So yeah, she's been grifting off of everything. And she doesn't just work for MTV, or at least doesn't at this point in time, because I don't even know if MTV does any sort of programming anymore. I think it's just all done and dusted. But yeah, She tried to cancel Jay-Z back in 2019. Good luck on that one. If, him cheating on Beyonce and then her coming back to him didn't cancel him, nothing's going to. Yeah, she's bullied the NFL, and that's where she got an inroad, and that's kind of where she stayed. But she's been belly aching for years about her victimhood status. Listen, somebody that I have a whole lot of respect for, Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit. Okay, he's from Sudan. Well, his parents immigrated from Sudan to the United States back in the 80s. So he's the definition of an African American, and he's also Muslim as well. So we had a similar experience, and you don't hear that guy pulling the victim card ever. But Nessa, she comes from the exact same experience. Her parents immigrated from Egypt, and they just, instead of like Myron's family moved to New York, they moved to Southern California, where there's a lot of other brown people as well. Like, it's a little bit more multicultural in New York, but it's considerably more dangerous than Southern California was at the time. Like, she could pass for some sort of Central American if things got really hazy, but all right, I don't think that she was wearing a hijab to school or anything like that, but I could be completely wrong, but chances are I'm not. Speaking on the Guy Code podcast in 2014, all right, she revealed that she was raised in Southern California, but before that she spent time in Saudi Arabia. Abdul get the rocks after her dad's job transferred them there. All right, opening up about the realities of living through the Gulf War and then seeing the disastrous attacks around her, she recounted when 9/11 happened. It didn't surprise me at all. Sorry, what? We've been on Elon Omar's ass for her 9/11 comments. 9/11 didn't surprise me at all. That's what I went through probably every couple of months. Oh, right. Yeah, you've... in Saudi Arabia, those 3,000 people just dying every few months. Yeah, no, definitely. 100%, you fucking idiot. And probably the biggest strike for me personally against her is she's also a homie hopper. Aldon Smith, he was a rush end for the Niners. They have linebacker, but, he's a hell of a talented guy. But he's just a little weak between the ears. He got traded over to the Raiders, which is probably a perfect fit for him if this was the Raiders of the 70s. But yeah, he played for the Raiders for a hot second. Jerry Jones snapped him up because Jerry Jones is going to Jerry Jones over for the Cowboys. And incredibly talented guy, hell of a first step. And apparently tagged her first. She's a devout Muslim, right? And she's out there homie hopping. That is unforgivable behavior. But that's the lady who is heavily influencing the stupid fucking decisions of somebody who has zero frame at all. Somebody who was more than happy, had a wonderful story about being a child who was adopted, took advantage of a really good situation, made it to the NFL. It was one hell of a good story. And now all of a sudden, because, well, he's terrible with women and he ended up getting himself quite the sucker. Now he's just gonna have to continue that race hustle because he is terrible with fucking women. But now that we've done kind of ragging on one Muslim, not for the fact that she's a Muslim or anything like that, and I have extreme respect for Islam, not because I'm scared of it, it's just because, well, I really, really, really do respect how well that they maintain their religion, maintain all of their values, don't bend, don't break to anything. That's why, I can take a look at her and she's just a terrible, terrible Muslim, not adhering to any of the edicts that would be laid out in the Quran, okay? And the fact that she's out there fucking, well, not being married, especially being married to a man not of the book, oh my god, super fucking haram. One man who is being unfairly prosecuted, that'd be our boys the Tates over here. Listen, this is one of those topics, okay? Like, I talked about at the beginning, how YouTube has it out for certain things. Whenever I discuss Tate, like, you can take a look at the Chris Rock, Will Smith stuff, the Chris Rock comedy special stuff. There is one video in particular, out of the other two, that performed quite well in the grand scheme of things. There is one that only did a couple of hundred views, which I'm still very happy about, and I thought it was a very good video, and quite short, concise, and I think it got put out at a reasonable time frame. But the one that ended up getting stunted out of the whole group was one that had Tate on the front of it. So I gotta sneak in my coverage every now and again, or just do an outright video and then just take the L. But whatever, man, that'll be tomorrow, because a bail hearing is going to be had tomorrow, which is fantastic. And the first one on the 14th is going to be for Tate. or obviously, they're both for Tate, right? Andrew Tate will be in court to find out if his request for bail will be accepted. Yeah, the court is finally starting to hear an appeal on the bail situation because their bail was revoked all the way back December 27th when they first got snatched up because their flight risks. And now, because of this indeterminate amount of time that they're going to be staying in preventative detention because nobody's been charged with anything so far and the authorities are still conducting the investigation as we speak, bail has been withheld from the brothers, actually from all four of them, from Andrew, Tristan, Georgiana, and Luana, for reasons. They're high-profile individuals, their flight risks, and yeah, we just don't like what they're saying. In fact, Tucker Carlson was on what's it called? Full Send podcast, Nelk Boys. They were doing a podcast, and Tucker was on there, and he was hitting the nail directly on the head that, Andrew Tate and all of his entire crew were being snatched up because they are directly over the target. What a personable guy on podcasts. It's just weird. But anyways, I might go over that in some point in time. Don't hold me to that, though. Always, whenever I do these video reactions, it's always few and far between. I think it's just, regardless, we'll just finish this up here. But yes, Andrew will be in court to find out his request for bail will be accepted tomorrow, later today, because that's all Romanian time, and, time zones are floompi. March 15th for Tristan, and Georgiana and Luano also await their decision on whether they'll be granted bail by the court. I ultimately don't think that's going to go anywhere because they're just a couple weeks away from the end of this 30-day period that extended them out, and the prosecution still has an additional 3 months left in the tank, which is just absolutely absurd at this point in time. It's just right smack dab in the middle of the 30-day period, so the likelihood that they get bail, it's slim. But there is some good news to be had off of this development, because the fact that they're actually hearing an appeal for bail leads me to believe that maybe it gets extended for one more month, but it's at least there's light at the end of the tunnel on this one because no additional charges, no new evidence. They're finally hearing a bail appeal. I think the boys are I'd give it about a 40% chance that they're out at the end of the month. I think that they try to ride it out for as long as possible, but this is definitely a good development. No two ways about it. And the fact that they are going back to the court on a semi-consistent basis, that leads me to believe we're just about done. I definitely hope so, because, man, this is just such a troubling case that I've outlined in many other videos as well, and I don't need to make this video any longer with something that is troublesome to me and something that I think you guys would really enjoy hearing as well. But if you'd like any more elaboration on that, I've got an entire playlist in regards to the cancellations and imprisonments, and hopefully that's as far as we get. And then the next time that I talk about Tate, it's about them being released from prison and going on one of the most highly anticipated emergency meetings that there's likely to have ever been. So, before we sign off, if you guys want to peek something else, because, all of this stuff around here, brand new. The logo, brand new. And then also, at the end of the video, normally I just had the little splash screen at the end, but your boy was actually working on something else, and I'm pretty excited about that. It's just a little 5-second video card at the end, so, if you guys just want to check that out, I got everything organized a little bit better. I like it. Hopefully you guys do too, so tune in for that. Stay around for that. This is going to be staying. Obviously, I've got old backed up content that's going to be releasing under the old format, but it's here to stay. Might be tweaking a couple of different things depending on the look and all that stuff. But for right now, and as always, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.